Pokemon Scarlet and Violet have just been released, ushering in a new generation of Pokemon. This installment sounded like a major step forward, being completely open world, having more than one storyline to play through, and the fact you could do any boss fight from any story in any order you want. I was very excited for the release of this game. I even put some current video projects on hold just to see what this game had in store. Would I say these new additions in the game are a step in the right direction? Yes, I genuinely believe that this is a major step in the right direction. But even with all the possible freedom you are granted, there are still some drawbacks that hold this game back, that me and many others have noticed throughout the first week of this game's launch, which I will be addressing in this video, alongside my overall thoughts. It's not often I get to share how I honestly feel about a game, let alone a game from my favourite franchise of all time. Anywho, without any more delays, here we go. As I said during the introduction, this game is open world, which is a first for the franchise, meaning you can explore any area you want at any given time, giving you so many options to form your main team of 6 as fast as you can and make progress towards your Pokédex. With 3 stories to play through plus the freedom to choose where you want to go at any given time, I initially thought it was all up to me. Do I want to try and go for a couple gym badges and make progress towards Victory Road? Do I want to try and find the Titans in the Path of Legend story? Or should I fight one of the Team Star crews first? Before the game came out, I expected that there would be some kind of level cap, which would increase once you defeated more and more of the bosses throughout the 3 stories. To give you an idea on how I initially expected this, my second gym battle was against the normal type gym leader, Larry, which for the record, I barely made it to this gym battle because I was dealing with level 30 plus Pokemon, which mine had not even reached at that point yet. So I went a bit overboard with the healing items before facing the gym leader himself, who completely destroyed me with his normal Tera type Staraptor. The whole process of fighting Larry and the trainers prior to him was what made me realize that this game does not have any form of level scaling, and that my first gym badge was acquired because I coincidentally picked the correct gym to tackle first. I'm probably going to bring this game up again later, but Breath of the Wild is a great example of an open world game, especially when it comes to tackling the major boss fights inside the Divine Beasts. All of them felt equally challenging. Well, maybe aside from Thunderblight Ganon, but no matter where you were in the world, you could always make the necessary preparations before taking on the bosses. You could complete shrines to collect spirit orbs, which could be used to collect additional heart containers. You could find Koroks hiding in hundreds of spots in the entire map and use the Korok seeds given to you to increase your inventory space, and you could use any weapon you wanted regardless if it was a strong weapon or a weak one. Or if you just wanted to go full on Giga Chad mode, you could just run to Calamity Ganon immediately. While you can explore any area of the map at any time and run into some decently high level Pokemon which can be used to battle against the higher level gym leaders, Team Star, or the Titan bosses, if the Pokemon's level is too high though, they will not attack every time and disobey, regardless of whether or not you are the original trainer. So I felt like I needed to follow a specific order on which gym leader I had to battle first, then second, and third, etc. Since gym badges, just like they were prior, are the main requirement for making higher level Pokemon obey. So while the freedom to explore any area of the map was there, alongside a large roster of Pokemon, I still felt like I had to put myself on a set pathway to complete the Victory Road story, since, as I said before, there's no scaling based off of overall completion. Okay, this is Future Pretzel, adding a little something extra about the whole obedience thing that I did not know at the time of writing the script. So, after watching John Stone's recent video on catching every Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet, I learned that the only Pokemon that will disobey you if you go above your current level cap is wild Pokemon that you catch that are initially above your said current level cap when you find them. So, if you caught a wild Pokemon above level 25 when you have only one gym badge, that Pokemon will most likely disobey in battle. 2 badges, the cap is level 30, 3 badges, the cap is level 35, 4 badges, the cap is level 40, you get the idea. So, if you do plan on going after higher level gyms first with your own high level Pokemon, it is possible, but it will require some patience. Now, I'm sure all of you saw this coming. It's been documented everywhere since the launch. Tweets, live streams, YouTube videos, and of course, just like all of these, my own personal experience. While exploring the open world to me is something I really enjoyed, I do think the game's overall performance is just as important. A minor visual hiccup or stutter every once in a while doesn't seem much to scoff at to me, since, well, It's only once in a while and not consistent. In Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's case though, I honestly don't even think I need to say much about it. The footage speaks for itself. Whilst I was writing the script, I did come across a tweet from the user Linkus7 who reported that the game has a memory leak which causes the game to slow down more during longer play sessions, which a restart fixes. Which to me is a serious strike because I shouldn't have to restart my game just so it can actually run at the pace it is expected to run at. While I am confident that a patch will eventually come for this game, hopefully this doesn't become something that doesn't age well, but still, even with a patch, I do stand by that the state that the game was released in is not excusable. One thing I do stand by though is I do not blame the console or the people that worked on this ambitious project. One argument I've seen prior to writing for this video was that apparently the Nintendo Switch is just not powerful enough to run Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which is something I just do not believe to be true in the slightest. The Switch has proven time and time again to be fully capable of running high quality titles with close to no compromises. Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Smash Bros Ultimate, etc. I think you can all agree with me on what I'm about to say. This game needed more time. While I do believe the developers did what they could to the best of their abilities with the time they were given, over time, it had become pretty clear that they were not being given enough time. Ever since Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which released back in 2014, each new entry from that point on had always been scheduled for a mid to late November release. You know, just in time for the holidays. The only exception to this was Pokemon Legends Arceus, which came out in January of this year, while Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl filled in the gap for the holidays in 2021. What did I think about the titles prior though? Well, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire was still very solid. Sun and Moon and then Ultra Sun Ultra Moon, I thought they were good. But honestly, I think Ultra Sun and Moon was what the originals should have been. Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. They did change up the gameplay quite a bit here in terms of catching Pokemon, but other than that, I personally believe it was still a fine game. And then we get to Sword and Shield, which I'll be honest, has grown on me over time. But I cannot deny that this game still had its problems. For example, the wild area in Sword and Shield did suffer from frame drops and lag too, but only when connecting online in one of the 3 wild areas in the game. If you played offline, everything seemed to run very well. Despite everything else still running in a stable and consistent manner, I still think this was quite a strike for Sword and Shield, since the wild area was one of the main features of the game. Anyway, back to Scarlet and Violet. In conclusion, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are still games that I got some form of enjoyment from, despite its technical issues, which have not yet been patched as of the making of this video. And if you enjoy the game too, whether it be for the multiple storylines, discovering new Pokemon for the first time ever, or just for the sheer fun of it, having an ultimate glitch fest and creating some funny or bizarre results, then that's great. I personally had a lot of fun recreating a mystery dungeon ending here. Do I recommend Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? Well, to me, it honestly just depends on what you think. If you have $60 to spare, or for a Christmas present for a family member or friend, do you want to pick this game up or not? But honestly, I definitely would recommend picking this game up if the patch we are expected to come soon does get released. If not, always remember that there will always be other titles out there for $60, or possibly even less than that, which will still be worth your time, like the previously mentioned examples. Anywho, that's my personal take on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Pretty funny how despite how often I make satirical videos on the Pokemon franchise, I am honest about what I think of the new generation to start off with. But anyway, those projects I said I put on hold at the beginning, I think now is a perfect time for me to get back on those. And also, let me know your thoughts and views on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet as of right now, and what you thought of my personal take. Thanks for watching, fellow pretzels, and have a nice day. Bye!